Investors are not sure that Microsoft's spendings on OpenAI will pay off, sending Microsoft down almost 10% yesterday. And Starbucks went to 104, but now on the retreat. I think we are again getting for a nice opportunity in Starbucks, which published very, very good news. This and more, you are listening to the StockInvest.us podcast Trading Tips with Jim as we head into week 6.
Tick-tock goes the market clock. Bulls run wild, bears don't talk. Up or down, it's a coin flip game. Buy low, sell high, don't lose your grip. Stay sharp, stay fast on this trading trip. It's Trading Tips with Jim. Win or learn.
Last week I was betting for a red week for the markets, and this is Friday. Week, and yesterday, Thursday, was very red for the market. At some point, Nasdaq was at, I think, down 2.8%, ending a little better. And it was not much happiness to see in the market. One stock that actually did quite okay yesterday was NIO, which is good because NIO is a $1,000 challenge. And pre-trade today shows that NIO is pushing upwards. Will it continue? I'll get back to that in the end of the podcast. My bet for a red week hasn't paid out totally, except from yesterday. If we look at the indexes, because so far Nasdaq is up 0.78% for the week. But futures are very red, indicating that Nasdaq probably will go in minus. But most shares on Nasdaq fell for the week. Nasdaq was pulled up by some of the major companies having very good quarter results, pushing the entire Nasdaq up, especially Nvidia helping the market up. Dow Jones so far in the red, and S&P 500 like Nasdaq at 0.78% so far this week, also showing the signs that it actually will end red. And I had, I believe, this week was the third week with red where I think it will be red, so I say it's not expecting anything green. And looking at the chart, I see something very, very nice, because Nasdaq last time I checked the chart, it had more downside than upside, but due to some of the movements earlier this week, Nasdaq now shows very good sign again, because it held above the long-term and the short-term moving average, creating more support below. So right now, while I was 3 weeks ago in week 3, I started with negative because I said the buy and the sell signals are way too high. And it's such an easy indicator to use. I hope there is one thing I can learn in today's podcast is just use the buy and the sell signals, because it works over and over again. We'll get back to the buy and the sell signals in just a minute. Let's continue with Nasdaq and finish the argument, because a lot of support has built up under Nasdaq due to the movements being better than hoped for, and that pushes Nasdaq into much more solid territory for the future. I didn't expect much from January, and to be frank, I didn't expect much from February, but right now I see signs that we might be on a new breakup up. Anyone following this podcast know I love red days. That's where I buy, and many times I just wait for them very patiently. When markets are very high, I start to sell out, sit patiently and wait, and I've been doing that. I have cash available waiting for the good buys, because I assumed, due to the high amount of buy and sell signals, buy signals especially, that markets would have a slight correction. And several stocks have fallen very hard. If we can look at some of them, I told you before Christmas that Adobe and DoorDash are two companies, together with Iowa Therapeutics, are companies that give very strong buy signals in the long term. And given the right timing, it would be a fantastic option. Iowa kicked off up 37% in just a short time. But right now, as we speak, Iowa is actually under when I said it was a good buying opportunity. And I said that in podcast, I believe, 2 podcasts ago said that now I wouldn't buy in Aeva because it was up 37%. It's a typical place where you take profit. But now Aeva is down at $13.25. Below, when I first saw it and I saw the opportunity, it was 14.37, and I said, no, it looks to me like a very, very good opportunity that can turn off. Kicked off 38% profit. Now it is below by $1, a little more than $1 below this level. Again, super good opportunity. Giving a good red day today. I might actually go into Aeva again. And same thing for Adobe and DoorDash. They have pushed further down. DoorDash you can get with an 8% discount from when I said it. Adobe almost 17% discount from when I said. And when I said these are long-term picks. Another stock which I mentioned was Starbucks, and that I did first week of January. I said to me, Starbucks looks very, very nice. So around $86, $87. Wrote the newsletter, very lengthy newsletter, was opened by more than 50,000 readers, and hopefully many of you were able to catch on the good buy in Starbucks. Starbucks did what it was supposed to do, pushed upwards, hit 104 this week, but currently is down at 86, I believe. 96 after falling. And I really want to get back into Starbucks because, as I told you, I believe in consumer products, and Starbucks delivered very, very good news, but in a red market, red days, they delivered very, very good news. Market hasn't been kicking onto it, but they illustrate exactly the things that I said about why consumer is coming back, and they just said the same thing, and they will even expand their business. So Starbucks is absolutely a hot tip. Hope for a very, very red day today. I hope there will be some scare in the market and you will see some orders flying in. That will be me. Back to the buy and the sell signals before we'll get to a few more stocks. But this, as I said, is the most easiest thing I can learn you because it works over and over again. For this will be 7th year of doing this podcast, and over the years we have had these moments. Happens, hard to say, 10 times during a year or something. We have these obvious buy and sell moments. We have usually 2 major ones where it's not like picking money on the street, and then we have some which is not as good but still good. And in week 3 I told you that across all the tickers that we analyzed there is 42% buy signals. It's getting too high. New York Stock Exchange was up at 46. Nasdaq was low at 19. I told you there will be several good picks at Nasdaq still, while the general market is too high. And I offloaded, reduced my portions, started to get back into cash positions because I wanted for, or I believed that it would be a market fall. As we speak, week 5 is ending with 34% buy signals. This is not low at all. It's not a classic buying opportunity. And the Nasdaq at 17, New York Stock Exchange at 41, only down from 46 to 41 last week. I think there is more red in general, but we are very, very close to where nice things can start to happen. I just hope that we get a little scare in the market, more sell-off. I will be there. I keep my longer positions. I maybe reduce a little in them. That's how I play the game. I go for trends. I have told you the trends over and over again. Will not repeat. But I move a balance up and down within what I believe is the trend. So I keep the longer stocks, maybe reduce a little of the exposure. One stock, for instance, which I've been sitting in quite long, is NIO, because I really believe that NIO will do very good. And production is scaling up, everything is scaling up, market doesn't pick. But yesterday when market was very, very red, investors were chasing for good opportunities with low downside. They were looking for stocks that pose a good opportunity at the same time have a limit. It's not like Big Bear AI, Rigetti, all these stocks which is priced on very, very heavy future earnings, very strong PE ratios, because they believe they will do so good in the future. NEO, for instance, have been running in red, but they see the potential upside. So good for me, and I believe, as I said, NEO will continue today. But I have cash, and there is some stocks which I want to get more into consumer-related items, because they have been hammered hard. Very strong upside, very low risk. Using the buy and the sell signals, I cannot say that now is the right time, but you truly never know. It's when the buy signals are low, like we had them down, like buy signals are overall across everything is down at 16, I just say buy. With Nasdaq at 17, it just tells me that at Nasdaq, plenty of good opportunities. Just remember that Nasdaq index is mainly driven by the bigger ones, so you don't get the full picture. But when I say 17% buy signals, it means across all the stock listed at Nasdaq, meaning there is several good pick if you're able to find them. Just to finish off the buy and the sell signals, because I know I have Norwegian listeners, I have German listeners, and I have people from India listening to this podcast across Spotify, on our Stock Invest channel, on my channel as well, Train Tips with Jim. It's on several medias. Just remember to subscribe and like if you like. It helps, and subscribe, of course, if you want to follow and see what is happening. And in Oslo, it's 38% buy signals, down from 40. I am very bullish on shipping sector in Norway in general, and if we see more actions around Iran, can only go one way with the rates. Good for me, which is heavily into Norwegian dividend stocks, shipping, that is freights. Frankfurt 41%, National Stock Exchange down. At India, they've been struggling very long to get after being very strong market for a long time, struggling. Huge opportunities. India is absolutely a market. If you can invest into India, should be plenty upside. Tokyo 40 and Shenzhen, China 35% buy signals. They are getting lower. They are not typical place to buy in general. I would say National Stock Exchange of India, absolutely. If you find and you are able to buy Indian stocks, I would absolutely do it, because now they show all the signs of being at a great place to pick, but you have, of course, to pick the right stocks. For the rest of them, Nasdaq offers several good stocks if you're able to find them, still on the upper end. But I told you, I am ready. I have the cash available. I am very eager to pick. Now is that thing where you just have to be patient. You want to get in, but I've been doing this so long. I know when the obvious picks are. Some easy day trades yesterday when markets was falling too much. I was just picking a few of them because I knew they would bounce 2, 3, 4% easily back up, and many of them did. Now I just want that longer term pick. And for the longer term pick, I just mentioned 3. I mentioned Adobe, DoorDash and Ayurveda Therapeutics. These are stocks to me looking very interesting. DoorDash, Ayeva for more consumer related, and Adobe of course also is consumer, but software consumer then. There were 2 stocks I mentioned last time, which are very consumer related, which I think are good buys, and if you get them in the long term, and if you get them cheap, what can be better? Dollar General is one stock which I want. $141. When I said it was 151, has been up at 250, now 141. And the same thing was American Airline Group, another stock which I want into. These I will pick. It's just trying to make the best pick. Anyone following the podcast know that I bought Nvidia, for instance, when Nvidia was 88, following it all up to 204. Then I sold it, 208 actually. Then I sold it, and I said that I would get back into Nvidia when the price is right. To me, Nvidia is not at the right price. Another stock which I sold at 255, now I have to think, 455 was Tesla. And Tesla is absolutely a stock I do want to get back to. Tesla, I just hope and pray that more negative news give me a good buy position, and I will be back in Tesla, because looking 1 year, 2 years ahead, there is no doubt in my mind that that's where the money will be. Have the media bash the hell out of Musk with all their negativities, have the left-wing riots around Europe saying Tesla is bad. Better, because future is there. You just have to realize that Tesla is more than Tesla cars. It's robotics. It is self-driving cars. It's self-driving taxis, not the least. And now they're even talking about maybe merging with SpaceX. So Tesla is in the future trends, absolutely in the future trends. Now, before starting, I promised myself not to make it a long podcast. Sometimes I manage to do that, but it's time to wrap it up. Simply because, as I said, I don't have like these I think it's fair chance that the markets will go down. I'm just saying that we are getting very close to where it will turn up, and I'm not sure. Can we have a sell-off next week? If markets falling 3% in total, I'm sorry to say, but I'm hoping for it. It will hurt my portfolio, of course. It will hurt my portfolio, but in general, I do longer term, so I don't care so much about these short-term movements. I care more about the longer-term movements. And right now, it starts to look much better for Nasdaq than it has. When it over the last 2 weeks looked more scary, now it's suddenly more back. But let's have one more fall. I think it will be one more red week. I think Nasdaq will have one more red week. I just hope it will be some scares. Let me pick some good stocks. Hopefully, we can have these frantic days where people just sell off. Gold, for instance, hit 5,500. Can you believe it? 5,500. Currently around 5,100 after losing $400 in just a few hours. So money are shifting all over the place. 10-year Treasury yield has come down to 422. Things are happening. I said I believe strongly that dollar will strengthen. What happened last week? Dollar went from 115.7 or something like this, all the way up to almost 120. Now is getting back to 119. I don't understand it. I don't understand how it can be based on all the economic numbers, but markets are markets. They decide. My bet is still dollar will strengthen over the year, and it will strengthen heavily. Is the sell-off in gold, is the reduction of the 10-year treasuries a sign that this is actually happening behind the curtain? We will have to see. We will have to say, just give me some red days, because I have, as I said, I have the cash. And what you can learn from this is use the long trends, use the signals, try to figure out when market is in the upper end, because you want to buy when it is in the lower end. NIO is in the $1,000 challenge, and NIO was 477 when I left the podcast last week. Yesterday it was up at over 5, I think, but turned back a little, or was it the day before? It was at least up at 5. Turned back, ending at 477, so no changes for NIO this week. Means that the $1,000 challenge is exactly at the same $3,358.36. But my friends, finally there are all the signs for the pushes in NIO, and my overweight is again that NIO now finally will push. We wait for these periods. You truly do not know when they start, but NIO has went from a falling to a sideward trend, getting more and more positive analyst ratings. By the way, they range from the minimum of $6 till $8. I think they will be revised upwards. last time we had the same signs in the chart. I said that NEO will probably go up to 8, where you should sell. Anyone should sell at that level. Before it has a reaction back. I didn't expect that. I expected the reaction back to around 556, not to fall as it has. It was down at 4.3 or something. So bringing the $1,000 challenge from a very nice profit of 5,555 down to 3,300 as it stands. But again, now we have the same signs, and NEO stands out as a clear buy signals. If you missed the last in and out purchase, I believe there is a new one boiling now. I believe there is a new opportunity coming in Starbucks. Let's hope we can get it cheaper than currently sits. Hopefully under 90 again. And most likely you should make some profit in the longer run. That's it, folks. That's it for today. It is Friday. It's a very sunny day here in Vilnius. Very, very nice outside. Cold. I live very next to Neris River, the main river of Vilnius city. And before starting the podcast, I checked out the window and the river was totally frozen. Such a beautiful winter day, and it seems like the weekend will be cold but nice. I hope you enjoy more than just stock trading. Meet friends you haven't met for a long time for a coffee. Get that backbone, because the trading will be here. I will be here. The opportunities will come and go. We just have to grab them at the right time. I will spend the weekend wisely. I hope you do the same. I hope that by the end of next week, when I will be back, that your portfolio will be much greener than it was in the beginning of the week. Bye.
Welcome to StockInvest.us Stock Analysis. We remind you that trading involves a high risk of losing money, and that you should speak with a financial advisor before buying or selling any securities. You should not base your investment decision upon StockInvest.us. By using the information you agree and are held liable for your own investment decisions.